Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Guys, welcome back to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. We do have our good buddy here, Mr. Pittsburgh Kevin himself. What's up, Pittsburgh Kevin?
Hey, everybody. Good to be here.
Good to be here.
Good to be anywhere.
Happy time. Oh, happy day.
Happy day.
Oh, happy day. Mr. Pittsburgh, come my way. Okay.
I don't know what that
Anyway,
is.
so we're back in the saddle again for another podcast for you guys. Welcome, Rock Rage Radio fans. Wake the hell up! I know it's early on Sunday mornings.
Good morning.
But the Lord is waiting for you to get your butt to Sunday school. Mm-hmm. I attend virtual church, by the way. So, I don't know where I do it just sitting on my couch with coffee with Irish cream in it in one hand and a joint in the other.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Praise the Lord.
Indeedy. That's right.
I don't think Pastor Darius would be real happy about that. But I won't tell
if you
don't tell.
Exactly right.
So I just feel like it helps me get more nearer my God to thee.
Sure, exactly. Right?
Just a closer walk with thee.
Yes.
Yeah, God. That's what it's all about. That's the strain of dope I smoke. It's called Closer Walk.
Is it really? My gosh. Holy free holy.
We have some, go to rockrageradio.com and music from the 412.com. Don't forget, come hang out with us. There's really good reasons now to get on our private Facebook group, Lou Lombardi's Inner Guitar Circle, because we now are doing a weekly masterclass for guitar players, and I have it set up. There's a link where you can chime in and play, and we can talk about what you're working on. It's all super positive, upbeat. And we did the first one this past week, and we have one every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. right now. We could change it if you guys like. I get a bunch of people saying, "Hey, could you do this at 7 or could you do it at 9 or could?" We'll just getting started with it, so I'm happy to adjust whatever makes you guys happy. So we got that coming up. Pittsburgh Kevin is here.
Yeah,
Did you do any guitar stuff, Mr. Pittsburgh?
Dude, I got to tell you, no.
No.
After last week's podcast, I felt a little bad. I'm like, man, I hope I didn't bring people down with my health issues. So I actually went back and listened to the podcast. I'm like, okay, it wasn't as depressing as I thought it might be, but yeah, I'm still on the mend. Baby steps, Dr. Marvin.
What about Bob?
Exactly right. Baby steps, like things are getting slowly but surely better.
You know what baby steps are?
What?
Gay.
Come on,
You said come.
But yes, good. I didn't want to bum anybody out from last week's podcast, but I still listen. I listen to our podcast and I laugh my behind off, and I'm like, we are crazy. There's something. Hey Lou, I don't know if you noticed about us. There's something wrong with us.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why we do this.
Exactly.
We're not right in the head.
We do it so you folks don't have to, right?
So, have you something that happened? This happened a few weeks ago, and I've actually had it on my notes to talk about for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah,
past 2 weeks.
Let's do it now.
We're gonna talk about it now.
Okay, good.
And that is the Fender lawsuit.
What?
Did you hear about this?
No. What's going on?
So what happened?
Yes.
A Chinese company.
Oh, thank you.
Fender brought a lawsuit against a Chinese company in Germany. Right? A Chinese company in Germany. Okay.
All right.
It was in Dusseldorf.
Dusseldorf, yes. It's very nice
the Stratocaster shape is a copyrighted work of applied art under the EU and German law.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's the big deal. It's not a trademark, not just a functional design, but a copyright-protected artistic expression.
Mm-hmm.
And what triggered the case was Fender sued a Chinese company, Yiwu Philharmonic Musical Instruments Company.
All right.
They were selling Strat-style guitars into Europe via platforms like AliExpress.
Oh.
The court ruled those guitars legally copied the Strat body.
Illegally. Yeah.
The company is banned from selling guitars like that in the EU, and there'll be all kind of penalties and stuff if they do that.
Naughty.
So Fender has lost attempts in the past to trademark these shapes in the U.S. So what has happened, because it's gone so long in the United States, the Stratocaster, the Telecaster, and the P-Bass are considered public domain in the United States.
Right, okay.
But see, now I'm wondering, like, can companies like Ibanez and Schecter and those companies, can they sell guitars in Europe?
Oh.
You know, and so, or are they going to have to? I do not think that this is over. I think one of the bigger companies like Ibanez or something is probably going to say, "Excuse me," like, you know.
Yeah.
And if they sue and don't win, then they will have to license the Strat shape from Fender.
Right.
And like how much? And then my question is. What's the Strat shape?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it literally going to be, it has to be like an actual Stratocaster shape, or does anything that kind of like the Jackson soloist or whatever, you know what I mean? Yes, it's got the two cutaways, right? It's based on the Strat, but it isn't, you know what I'm saying? It's not exactly really, you know.
Right.
And the same way with like the Ibanez S bodies and stuff like that. You know, yes, they're definitely inspired by the Strat, but would that count? So this is going to open, I think, a can of worms.
Delicious.
Delicious. This could mean, so this could things like people that like build, like boutique builders,
right?
They may have to kind of figure out how to distinguish anything.
Get a way around that.
Strat-ish.
Yeah.
What about what's that one that Paul Reed Smith made for John Mayer? Now everybody.
Oh yeah.
Silver Sky.
I'm like, that's a Strat.
Are those going to be allowed to be sold in Europe? I mean, I think that I don't think that they're going to go around. Also, Phil Knight got into this a little bit on one of his podcasts. I heard him talk about it. It's like, I don't think that the plan is to like go and strip the shelves all over Europe of these guitars,
right?
Or arrest people that have them. But I think either starting now or starting at a certain date, they will not be allowed to be imported in, and you won't be able to sell them. You
Right.
have what you have.
Exactly.
And we shall see what happens. I don't know. Because I know that Ibanez and Jackson and those Schecter and these companies, they sell a lot of guitars in Europe.
Yeah.
Obviously they do. What in the world's going to happen?
I don't know.
Strat-style models may disappear from EU markets. Companies redesign bodies to avoid litigation. Fender gains stronger market control in Europe. Fender is already such a juggernaut. Like, what else do they need? I don't know. I'm a capitalist. I'm an American. I believe in our system and everything like that. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think if they could work out maybe fair licensing, but what that means is like, so for every Ibanez S that's sold, like they're going to have to collect like a licensing fee,
right,
to pay to Fender.
Yeah.
So that means the price of those guitars
go
go up.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Fender would be shooting itself in the foot if it like made everybody stop, but they may offer licensing agreements that if they're not too draconian,
yeah.
You could end up, might be okay, but then what happens now? So Fender wins. Who else is going to win?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, is Gibson going to try to do something next? Martin, Gretsch,
exactly.
I did not think that I put
Yes.
I know what I did.
What did you
I
do
added
over
vodka
there?
back into my drink and didn't add more mixer. So I'm like, oh my God, why is that strong
Look
as
at that.
balls?
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, that's sometimes that happens,
I mean, there could be countersuits and all kind of things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just heating up. I do, it makes me like kind of wonder like what's going to happen with a lot of other companies on both sides.
I saw, and I only saw bits and pieces of the little documentary, and I'm going to go back. Listen, I'm so dedicated to this here podcast. I'm going to go back and watch the whole documentary on Hamer guitars. Remember Hamers?
Oh, yeah. I saw a mini documentary on them the other day.
Yeah. We might have seen the same thing. And because they started talking about like, their Hamer Slammer was an Explorer. It was an Explorer.
Yeah, they called it the Standard.
Right.
Well, the reason that Gibson wasn't producing that guitar at the time, Hamer guitars came out, they weren't producing that guitar.
Right.
So, but then there was that whole nonsense a couple years ago with Dean guitars and the Z's and all that.
Yep. But I couldn't remember why they were able to make the Explorers and really not catch any heat. And they were allowed to make them for like Gibson started making them again, but Hamer had already been producing them, and they were allowed to go for like another 10 years. And at the end of the 10 years, they're like, Gibson's like, 999. I
mean, okay.
Yes,
Gibson is the giant is like, one of the big gorillas on the block that like Fender. Gibson and Fender. Actually, Fender is still to this day, the top selling musical guitar, electric guitar.
I can see that, yeah.
So, I mean, I get the point. I see Fender's side of it.
Yep.
But we've all been going along like this for so long. It's just like, again, it all ends up becoming, how Fender handles it. Do they sue every Tom, Dick, and Harry? Do they have like really hardcore, heavy duty, very expensive licensing fees, or do they sort of take it easy on everybody and work with Schecter and Ibanez and these different companies and give them a very fair,
kind of a good shake.
You know what I mean? Give everybody, you know what I mean? So we all can play nice in the marketplace.
Yeah.
I think if it gets draconian with Fender, I think people will countersue, and it could be interesting. I mean, this is.
We just want to rock and roll. That's all.
Only want to rock
That's all we
and roll.
Want to do.
So speaking of crazy fallouts.
Yes.
Well, first of all, speaking of who sold more, we were talking about the Fender being the number one selling guitar. Which era of Van Halen sold the most albums? David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar?
I would say David Lee Roth. Would I be correct, Mr. Loudini? Would I?
I would say Sammy Hagar, because that's where they had their biggest hits.
Oh, that's true.
However, you are correct. It is David Lee Roth.
Of course.
It's not of course.
Of course, Loudini.
It doesn't make
it. Loudini.
No, I think the reason why, what happened is I think that music, the David Lee Roth music, may be being perceived as more timeless. And Sammy's music may be being perceived as more a product of the era. It's 80s music.
Sure.
But the David Lee Roth music, and I think if you put the two side by side, there could be you could make an argument that maybe the David Lee Roth era music sounds more timeless. It's when it got started, too. You know what I mean? That's where the world first started finding out who Eddie Van Halen was.
Right.
It was before he played on Beat It and did all that sort of stuff. Before Eddie Van Halen was Eddie Van Halen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some other, somebody brought. So I saw the drunken podcast or something like that was talking about this, and the question came up about who sold more, and it was David Lee, and everybody said what I thought because. They had the bigger hits with Sammy.
Right, yeah.
They were like, actually, the David Lee Roth era Van Halen. Now, not in that time, but like...
Over time. Yeah.
Overtime.
Okay.
Overtime. So speaking of overtime,
yes.
Here's the solution.
Okay.
But Alex Van Halen will not hear it. Alex Van Halen has a bugaboo, and he won't hear this. But here's what they need to do. Here's the solution to the Van Halen
conundrum.
Here's how you do it. You bring in everybody. Do 5 songs with Sammy Hagar, 5 songs with David Lee Roth. Let Gary Sharon come in and do some backup vocals with Michael Anthony.
Thank you.
Get Michael Anthony in there and have Wolfgang play guitar on it too.
Sure.
Get everybody in there. This would be, I think it's the kind of thing that would like, you know what I mean? It's everybody who's involved. It's everybody together. Get Ted Templeman in there to co-produce something.
Yeah.
And I mean, get I don't even know if he's still alive. I don't even know.
I think he is. I think so.
You know, but get everybody together and do half Sammy, half Dave, and it just be something great for the fans.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that and then it goes out on a bang. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It goes out on a really good bang. And I don't think anybody would even mind too much if you auto-tuned David Lee Roth's vocals a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I think people would forgive it.
For
that. I think doing a record with Steve Lukather and Robert Plant is just people are going to be like, "What the fuck is this?" It might, even if it's great, people are going to be like, "What the fuck is this?"
But still, it's not.
Where's
the heart and soul?
Yeah, you know, bring everybody back. Bring everybody back.
Yeah.
And I think that but Alex won't hear it. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, Alex.
So, do you remember when you first learned? We've talked about this a little bit. Do you remember when you first figured out a song or something by ear?
Oh yeah.
What do you remember? What it was?
Sure, it was like the classic. You know, everybody did "Smoke on the Water."
Smoke on my daughter.
Smoke on my daughter. The other one was I was a big Doobie Brothers fan, so I learned China Grove. Not just the lick. I learned the whole song all the way through.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very cool. All by ear. And the reason being is my dad was a musician. He played keyboards. He played a little bit of ukulele. He was almost there. He wasn't quite there, you know. He played by ear. He played harmonica, and you could sit there and play him a song, and he'd sit down and listen to it and play it back on whatever instrument he was using.
Wow.
Yeah, he was very good. And so I kind of got that off of him. Not my mom. My mom was horrible when it came to music. But yeah, I have a pretty decent ear.
Nice.
Yes.
That's cool. I remember. But how did you figure it out? How did you know? How did you figure it out?
I would listen to the song and then pick up.
What was your process?
I'd listen to the song, pick up a guitar, and then figure out where key notes were on the guitar. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I did too.
Okay.
So it must be a common thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, so because people have been asking, well, how do you play by ear? I don't know. Like, where should I start? And so that's what I wanted to talk about real quick. Was like, there is no like hard or fast sort of method for this. You just have to like sit there and try to find the basic, you know. So what I always try to do is find like the main chord, the main, you know what I mean. Okay, so dun, dun, dun. Okay, see you know, we're constantly coming back to this A chord.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I would say, okay, well, you know, and from what I just playing enough on the guitar, figuring out, well, next chord sounds like it's D. No, it's not D. Oh, it's E. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, A and E. So I forgot A and E, and I would just kind of move around. Right. And after you learn enough songs, you start to realize what chords go with what chords. So then sometimes things go faster because now you can kind of say you do process of elimination. Right. We know that the main chord, the key, is A. So the likelihood that there's going to be a D, an E, an F sharp minor, maybe a B minor goes way up because those are all very, you know, those are the main chords in the key of A. So we know we're going to do that. You know what I mean? And then, but you know, songs a lot of times would throw a wild card at you. There'd be some, what's that?
Oh.
You know, and then you start to realize, such and such song has this chord change, like D, C, and G, which is in Sweet Home Alabama, and a gazillion other songs, right? And then eventually you learn, oh, okay, and you don't even know that that's called Mixolydian. You just know that, like, so this is a chord progression.
Sounds good together,
and I discovered that, oh, it's common, and I can put that in different keys, and they start putting stuff together.
Yes.
It's like a weird osmosis thing that happens, but you have to be intentional about it, and you're just sort of feeling around for it. Oh, God.
As I like to say, you get the feel for the wheel and keep the moving parts clean. Yes, yes.
So yeah, that's that, and that. Like I said, I did my first master class this week. We did like an intro to improvising, and it's in our inner circle group. So you can go and rewatch that. I'm gonna download it, and I'm gonna put it on some site. I'm probably gonna maybe get a school.com site or something like that, and to keep everything. And also the 2-hour podcast with the music and the talking will be available there too. So you'll still be able to do that.
Nice.
But so like I just wanted to kind of mention that. So one of the things that I came across this week that I thought was absolutely fascinating was an interview with Kenny Arnoff.
Oh yeah, okay.
And it's about an hour long. It is completely worth your time because it is so much about the history of what was going on during that time when John Mellencamp was breaking.
Okay, yeah.
And he really gives the history of kind of like this album, then we did this, and this, and this, and this. John worked with an arranger and a lyricist, a guy that would give him like little snippets of songs named George Greene. He says he was George Greene was kind of like Barry Toppin to Elton
John.
Not that he wrote all the lyrics, but like they would collaborate on the lyrics, and John would. He really relied on the band. This was really, I did not realize this. He would come in and would be like, look, like every song I write will sound exactly the same. I'm counting on you guys to come up with stuff so it not every song sounds the same.
Right.
And Kenny gave some examples of how like John came in with things that were just very plain, just like strumming acoustic guitar, and he was like, and he says John would play it for you once, and then he'd look at you like, so what do you got? Like, how are you going to make this awesome?
How can we? Yeah.
Like he was like, and it was a very high pressure situation. He said that I can't remember which football coach. Maybe it was one movie. Do you know the movie where Gene Hackman played a coach?
Oh, yeah.
Was it football or basketball?
It was. Oh shit! Now you really. I thought it was.
I don't think it was Hoosiers. Maybe it was.
I think it is Hoosiers.
He says John Mellencamp is like that. Was like the Gene Hackman character in that movie.
Yeah.
He was so in your face, like he was very, very, very demanding. He was a complete asshole. Was called everybody fucker, fuckhead.
Wow.
Yeah, he was just like, just super demanding, and he would just scream, yell, carry on, and it was. He said, Kenny was like, it was like a super toxic environment, but he didn't want to quit because they knew the music they were making was legendary.
Yeah,
they knew
exactly.
what they were doing.
Yeah,
that this is some of the greatest stuff ever. They knew that. He says all the other guys were like really good players. He really liked working with them. You know what I mean? And they were playing freaking arenas and stuff like that. So it was
right?
like, I mean, it blew up rather quickly. But he said when he got hired, he was getting ready to move somewhere, and a buddy of his in Indiana heard that this Johnny Cougar, his drummer, quit, and so so he was getting ready to move. He said, but I called my buddy who was a guitar player who was playing with John, and he said, can you get me, hooked up with John? And he said, he said, I'll do it. He says, I don't know if you want to do it. I go, no, man. This is what I want. I want to be on tour. I want to be in a big band and everything. And,
okay.
And so when he got hired, he says, the guy looked, he says, I can't remember who it was. He was a guitar player. I looked over him and says, welcome to hell.
Oh, no.
He was like, oh, okay.
Oh,
and that's
man.
exactly what it was. John put them all through the ringer for the Scarecrow album. He told them they all had to learn, like he had a catalog of 60s rock songs that they all had learned. He goes, I want my next album to have
this feel. Yeah.
I want you guys all have to learn these songs.
Oh, Lord.
And so they did. He wanted them played right too. So when you hear songs like ROCK in the USA and stuff like that, you could go like, oh, okay, it's why you hear like a 60s rock
exactly.
sound.
Yeah.
So that's what they were doing. For Lonesome Jubilee, that album, they all had to learn a different instrument and get good at it because he was expecting you to play those instruments.
Oh, wow.
And he said that he learned to play like a kind of dulcimer.
Okay.
And he said it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Right? But eventually what ended up happening was they finished the last show in, I can't remember which tour it was, which album it was. Maybe it was Whatever We Wanted or whatever. In like 1991, it was the last show of the tour. And John, when they got off stage, he told her, he says, I'm quitting.
John did?
Yeah, he said, I'm quitting. He said, I'm quitting. It's too much. He said,
it's so much for him.
Yeah, well, what was going on in this? So as the interview goes on, Kenny gets into this, and you start to find out why John was the way he was. He was under massive pressure when they came out with "Hurts So Good" and "Let It Ride." Jack and Diane. When they came out with those songs were so huge.
Yeah.
That it was like the record label was like you got to do. We need more.
Keep
going.
going.
Bigger record. The next record has to be.
And you remember those songs were huge back in the day.
I know. And so he said that. He says so. What John's real issue was that he was just under massive amounts of pressure. He was felt like he was holding on by a thread. I mean, and the business is insanely competitive.
Yep.
I mean, at the same time, those records are coming out. Like Sting's got records out, and Prince has records. I mean, it's like heavy freaking hitters, like legends of music of the music business are putting out records too, and John's fighting for his life.
Yeah.
I mean? That's why, he said, another interesting thing about John. John never drank or did any drugs at all.
Really?
Yes. His doctor told him he was smoking so many cigarettes.
Oh, well. Yeah.
And his blood pressure was so high. He says, try drinking a little red wine. And he says, John would literally drink a little bit, just a little bit, and he would hold his nose when he drank it. He hated it so bad. Yeah, he hated it so bad.
Wow.
But he says he's just completely wired on coffee and cigarettes. He says he's just like he's like completely wired on it. He says now the rest of us in the band we partied and everything. He says but John never touched it. Interesting fact about Hurts So Good. Hurts So Good was a really big song, but it could not get into the number one spot because Eye of the Tiger.
Really?
That song held on for weeks and weeks and weeks. Eventually, what happened was the record label was like, "Okay, it's not going to go to number one. Let's pick out another song." So they released "Jack and Diane" as the next single. That leapt over "Hurts So Good" and went to number one.
Wow.
Yeah, so he had 2 songs in the top 10. One of them #1 during the same week, few weeks or something in 1980, whatever. So I mean, he was freaking huge.
And I remember that because I remember "Hurt So Good" and I'm like, that's a pretty good song. And then all of a sudden, Jack and Diane came out, and it was a freaking blockbuster.
It was a juggernaut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that song, it was inescapable. So, so they were recording in L.A. Eventually, I can't remember, maybe after Jubilee, John bought a house in Gary, Indiana, and put a studio in it and everything, and it became like kind of their like home base.
Okay.
But he says what he would do is he would go and play with other artists on the time off.
Who, Kenny or John?
Kenny
would.
He would go play with other artists.
Sure.
And one of them was Elton John.
All right.
And he played on an Elton John record, and Elton wanted him to go on tour, and he turned it down because of John.
Yeah.
And John said, "You're fucking stupid." He says it had to be half a joke. He says because eventually what ended up happening was, he says he ended up. When John made the announcement that I'm going to retire or whatever, so Kenny was like, "Shit!" Like, John paid them a retainer every month,
right?
But he says it wasn't nearly as much as they were making like on tour, and stuff like that, or for records. So he was like, "I better go do something." So he came out to LA and he made friends with Don Was, and he got played on a gazillion people's records. He's like, John's the biggest rock star on the planet. He said, "Now I'm going to go play with all the rock stars."
Yeah.
And he told some great stories about meeting Don Henley and getting to do things with Sting and stuff like that. It was really interesting. It's a great interview. I gave you kind of a whirlwind tour of it right there. But you should go listen to it. It's on YouTube. Go check it. Kenny Arnoff getting fired from John Mellencamp's band, I think is the name of the name of the interview. But cover more than just that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was very, very cool. So we're gonna do our movie stuff.
Ooh, movies.
So you have a. Don't forget, guys, go to rockrageradio.com, musicfrom the412.com, and find us on Facebook, Lou Lombardi's Inner Guitar Circle, for a lot of great guitar content there. So we're gonna talk movies for a little bit here before we wrap up.
Like we do.
What? You said you watched? What'd you watch?
I watched Jojo Rabbit. Now, Jojo Rabbit, I remember, like, I didn't see it in the theater. My daughter had seen it, and she goes, "You gotta watch, Dad. It's an awesome movie." I'm like, "What's it about?" She's like, "It's about a little boy in Nazi Germany whose imaginary friend is Adolf Hitler." I'm like, "Okay." I eventually got the I bought the Blu-ray, and it's, how do you describe it? Delightful, yes. Tragic, yes. Funny, yes. It's really good because I'm like, how's this gonna play out? But they did it so well. I don't want to give too much away, but it literally is a little boy who's...
Don't give it. You don't have to
I'm just going to give you a real overview real quick. It's about a little boy in the Hitler Youth movement, and his imaginary friend is Adolf Hitler. And Adolf gives him advice and things like that. I will tell you the twist there. Hiding in his house is a Jew.
No.
A Jew, Lou.
It was a lonely Jew on Christmas?
It was a lonely Jew on Christmas. And he has to deal with this young lady and stuff. But Scarlett Johansson's in it. It's one of Sam Rockwell is absolutely brilliant as his instructor in the Hitler Youth movement. Rebel Wilson is in it. So Steve Merchant, for those folks who know who Steve is. It's look, hey, if you ain't seen it yet, you gotta go see Jojo Rabbit. You're gonna like it. Now, let me tell you about the Hitler Youth movement. My cousin married a German, a full-blooded German who full-blooded German.
Full-blooded.
Check it and see. And his story was when he was a young boy in Germany in the late 30s, early 40s, he was a member of the Hitler Youth Movement. And he went through all the training and whatnot. And it came the day where they all were going to get their little medals that they had that they had graduated, rather. And by the time he got up to the podium, they had run out of medals. And he said, "Fick this," and he went home. And he never pursued it after that point.
What kind of brown shirt BS is that?
I know. Al was so... I used to love when my dad and I would go visit his sisters, my aunts, and Al was over. It was such a bonus because he still talks this German accent, and my father, he knew some German from being over there in the army, and him and Al would sit there and talk a little German and stuff, and it was just so much fun. Al was fantastic. Al loved my dad so much that he named his firstborn Jimmy, after my dad, James. But
Jimmy.
I always thought that was such a funny story. He goes, "Yeah, so I'm not, where's my medal?" They're like, "We're sorry, little boy, we've run out of medal. Here's a certificate." He's like, "I'm not taking a certificate. I took off my uniform and I went home." Awesome. Hey, Loudini, did you see any movies this week?
Yeah, I saw a couple of really good ones.
Yeah.
So the first one I'm going to talk about
Nat.
is a movie I had seen before. I didn't realize it until the movie started. I'm like, oh, I've seen this before. But then I thought, well, I started watching. I'm like, this is good.
Okay, I'll watch it again. Yeah.
I mean, I had seen it. And it is a movie starring Bruce Willis.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Pollak. That's his name.
Oh, okay. Sure.
It is called Hostage from 2005.
Okay.
Action thriller film. Former big city hostage negotiator played by Bruce Willis becomes a small-town police chief only to be pulled back into high-stakes standoff when a family is taken hostage by criminals, forcing him to choose between saving, to try to save them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say the next part because it kind of gives a major plot point away. I don't want to say too much about it. All I want to say is you should go watch it. It's streaming on YouTube.
Okay.
It's really good.
Cool.
It's very good. It's about 2 hours long, so it's about the right length. It has some great twists in it. The main bad guy is really creepy and yucky and just a very cruel, uncaring, kind of character. Really good movie.
All right,
really,
Hostage.
really good. I think that if you should go check it out. Bruce he's still with us. He's retired.
Yeah.
But he's not going to make any more movies.
No.
But he's still out there, And this was before he started because he kind of got into sort of B movie territory for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He kind of went the Nick Cage route. For
right.
A while.
Right. Yeah.
So this is before that. This was around the time that he did help me out here. It was a Frank Miller graphic novel.
Sin City. Yeah.
So, and then the other movie that I watched that really, I saw this movie in the movie theater, and I remember the girl I went with. She was really great. Should have never broken up with her, but oh well. It's Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. So this goes way back. This goes back to 1997.
Okay.
And this is a bit longer. This is 2.5 hours. And I would be lying to say that there aren't some places where it's a little draggy. Just a little. There's places I was like, okay, we can kind of get past this, can't we? You know what I mean? And but very few and far between. This wasn't like, oh, God. It wasn't a slog by any stretch of the imagination. It stars Kevin Spacey, John Cusack, Allison Eastwood, Jude Law, the Lady Chablis is in it as well. So Oh, Jeffrey Lewis, who's in everything. You know Jeffrey Lewis is, right? When you see his face, you're gonna be like, I know that guy.
Let me see. I want to see his face. Oh, that dude. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in a lot of TV stuff in the 70s and 80s. But in any case, so this is based on a best-selling nonfiction true crime book that came out a few years before about a very famous case that happened, I believe, in the 1980s in Savannah, Georgia, involving a high-profile art dealer who shot his apparent gay lover in an argument. And this is not an action-packed kind of story at all. That's not what this is. This is a kind of drama, and then about halfway through it becomes a courtroom drama, and it really picks up. Like, I think that until we get into court, there's some still draggy parts, but for the most part, it's shot stupendously. Just like, and it is filmed in this very historic area in Savannah, Georgia. And I'm looking at this, and I'm going like, this looks really familiar. No, I had seen the movie before,
right?
But I mean, I'm like, I've seen this someplace else.
Yeah,
it's Forrest Gump when he's sitting on the bench at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
that's right there.
Oh, is it really?
It's the same freaking place.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really neat. So it is there is some twist to it. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. Kevin Spacey is fantastic. This is peak Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Peak John Cusack. Peak Clint Eastwood. All with great material. They took a lot of license with the true story part of it.
Okay, sure.
Also, it was a novel or like a novel-length book, so they of course had to condense things down. There's this little hint of like kind of there's just some voodoo going on.
Ooh,
like what I mean,
voodoo
there's
that you
little
do
bit
so
of that
well.
going on there. There is, and so this hit. I remember thinking, seeing this in the when it came out, and I remember sitting in the movie theater, and when the Lady Chablis came on screen, I remember thinking that she was very endearing. It hits different now. I can't say that that didn't age well. I don't mean that way, but it just hits different now.
Okay.
After 10 years of everybody's trans.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you just have to explain, like, if you'd seen it then and you see it now, you just have to, there's something,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, my generation grew up with that sort of thing as a kind of novelty.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, special people did that. Boy George, David Bowie.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Occasionally you would see it in a movie theater. Typically men that dressed as women were Benny Hill, Monty Python.
Right.
It was done as a joke. You know what I mean? Like, it was never considered like a serious,
right
thing. So like, that hit a little different. Jude Law is in it. He is a baby. I mean, he is so freaking young. It's like
really?
John Cusack too. John Cusack was a guy who looked young for men. He started to show his age a little bit, but he looked young, like
for decades.
For decades.
Seems
He looked
like decades. Yeah, right.
He looked like just like he did in Better Off Dead. That's on my list too. That's on YouTube for free too.
Check it out. Yeah.
I'm gonna rewatch it. I haven't seen that many years. Some great character actors from that time are in it, like Richard Hurd, who I know you've seen.
Oh, sure.
In a lot of things. It's just stupendous filmmaking. It's just like absolutely, just like. What a great, I hate to sound like an old man, but they really kind of don't make
those
like kind of movies
anymore.
like that anymore. It didn't really rely on any kind of special effects. It isn't especially bloody or gory. There is some sexy scenes, if you will. A lot of the stuff involving the Lady Chablis is just hilarious. That's the other thing about this movie. I was impressed with Clint Eastwood with this because, like, yes, it's about a murder trial, but he put a lot of humor in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like, it's not, humor like super bad.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Or, one of those kind of like,
But it's there and it enhances the whole thing.
It's just sort of like humorous things that would happen as people interact. Especially, there's some sort of, again, the Lady Chablis. She's a kind of like, all these people that live in this area of Savannah they all have weird quirks to them. There's the Jeffrey Lewis character walks around with this bottle of poison. He's promising he's going to dump in the water and kill everybody. And he's got these things attached to his shoulders and with horseflies on them. And they're buzzing around his head. It's crazy. Like, there's some wacky stuff in there. And John Cusack, he's from New York, and now he's in the South. So there's a kind of fish out of water kind of him kind of figure out, and Kevin Spacey constantly saying things like, well, you just don't know. This is how they do it in the South. I mean, I can't even, his accent is perfect. He sounds like the perfect Savannah gentleman, I mean, it's just, everybody is just. And I think it's something too. Like I'm sure that a lot of that has to do with Clint Eastwood, like pulling those performances
out of the actors.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He doesn't act in the film at all. He's not in the film at all. His daughter is Allison Eastwood is in it, but he's not in it at all. He just directed it, and he maybe directed and produced it, but he directed it. If you haven't, have you ever seen it?
No, I remember it. I remember it, but I've never seen it.
It's just like, wow. It's just like a great movie. It's like, it's of the quality, not of the status, because obviously it wasn't as famous as Lawrence of Arabia or The Godfather, something like that.
Right.
But it's of that
ilk. Okay,
It's just like a really, like, damn, great attention to detail. Everybody brings their absolute A game. There's no real... there's nothing. I looked at the movie and went like, yeah, that guy was a little. No, even the people that play goofy people are goofy, and it's great. And the people that are more straight and sinister, whatever, they're great. Like everything about the thing is just, I just can't say enough about it. I've never read the book, but apparently there are major differences.
Okay.
Also, till you do that right with the book, you have to combine characters sometimes. You
can elongate things. Yeah. Really get into detail. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you mentioned Howard Stern before, like, just like in the movie Private Parts, the character played by, what's his name? Paul Giamatti, Pig Vomit. That's an amalgam of like 2 or 3.
Exactly. Yeah.
He had to, that gave him hell while he was while he was on the radio in New York. But anyway, so guys, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you something here. Hang on.
Tell me something.
Because coming up next, we have some great music coming up next. I want to kind of give you guys just a little bit of a thing. One of the things we have several bands that we never played before that you're gonna get to hear. Where is my stuff? This is right here.
There it is.
Just want to look at the playlist. I'll give you guys a little. I don't think we've ever played Sandhouse before. Really
does
cool
not
band.
sound familiar.
But there's a new Gnome song, and Gnome is a band we've definitely played.
Yep.
It's really cool. Duke of Disgrace. Great jam. You're gonna hear that. We're gonna play Mojo Juju, another band that we've never played. It's very cool. Very real heavy with. They got some bringing some other great elements, and that is Alborn, 60 Miles Down, Cody Jasper. So we have some really great music. Saints of Saturn coming up in the next segment, so please stick around for that. Don't forget to check out rockrageradio.com. You can download the free app or listen to Rock Rage Radio. Great music programming 24/7. Same way with music from the 412.com with a Pittsburgh slant. And don't forget to find us on Facebook at Lou Lombardi's Inner Guitar Circle. Mr. Pittsburgh and I are both heavily creating content on TikTok. So what's your TikTok again?
My TikTok is at Pittsburgh Kevin, all one word, all spelled out. Come see my shenanigans.
All right. And you can find me at Loudini Rocks on TikTok as well. And I put a lot of lessons and things like that on Facebook as well, and I have a lot of fun there. All right, guys, so check us out on social media. All right, guys, have a great one. Stick around. Those of you listening on Rock Rage Radio, stick around for some great music, and we'll catch everybody on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
See ya!